Hey everybody, this is Heidi from the blog Hands Occupied with a knitting tutorial for you today. In this video, we are going to take a look at how to work the deceptively challenging veil stitch. This can be worked over any number of stitches because it's just a different way of working a knit stitch. So what you're doing here is elongating your stitches, but instead of using drop stitches and other more common techniques like that, we do a whole little song and dance with how we wrap our yarn around. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Let's take a quick look at this stitch to start. So this is, you can see that the veil stitch is just a modified version of garter stitch. So if you're not familiar with the term garter stitch, that means when you knit every single right and wrong side row when you're working flat, and that's when you get a ridge of bumps and a ridge of not bumps every row. But you can see that there's a lot more going on than just plain old knitting in this swatch. So let me show you exactly what's going on and how to do it for yourself. So I've worked about a third of the stitches on my row using the veil stitch, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. So we've got our left hand needle and our right hand needle, right? And so what we're going to do is insert our right hand needle through the first stitch on our left hand needle as if we were working a plain old knit stitch. So there should be an X with the right needle behind the left and that stitch wrapped all the way around. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to drop my normal way of carrying my yarn for the sake of you seeing what the heck's going on, because that's kind of important. We're bringing the yarn between the two needles. So between the two needles, like so. But when you're holding your yarn properly, it looks like this, which my hand covers up. So again, the yarn is going between those two needles to the front of our work. Then we're going to bring it over the left-hand needle, like so, and then around one more time. I'm gonna slowly spin this whole situation around to give you a look at what the proper wrapping technique for veil stitch should look like. So this is the front. There's your X and your one more wrap above it. And then if we look at the back, it looks like this. I'm covering up the loops that are not part of the stitch so you can see there's a loop on this side of the needle, on that side of the needle, and then the end of the working yarn where my left finger is. So that's what it should look like. Then all you've got to do is bring that very last loop, this guy right here, you need to bring him underneath in between the X. So see right there, I brought it through the middle of that X to form the stitch. Then you sweep off the whole X and all those wraps, and you've got your completed veil stitch right there. Let me show you all that one more time. So we've got our stitch that we're going to work next on our left-handed needle. We bring our right needle behind it, just like we were working any other knit stitch, but instead we do our little wrapping tango. So we bring the yarn between the two needles. Do you see that? There we go. Between the needles to the front. Now the needles at the yarn is at the front of our needles, and we bring it over top of both needles. And now our X is formed. Next, we wrap one last time around the right hand needle, and our work looks like this. Then all that's left to do is swing that final wrap inside the X underneath to finish our stitch, like so. Now that we're zoomed in a little more, I'm going to show you how to do this again. So we're ready to work the next stitch on our left hand needle. We insert our right needle through the first stitch, just like we were doing any other knit stitch. Next, what we're going to do is take our working yarn between the needles and around to the front of our work. Then we take that working yarn in between the needles again, over the top center to the back. Now you can see that we've got an X in our work. Then we wrap around the right needle one final time. And then what you're going to do, and you might even want to use your right pointer finger to hold the legs of the X, these two legs, in place, especially if you're working on metal needles that are a little slippery like mine. So you could use your right finger to hold the two legs of that X down as you bring this last wrap underneath the X and swing the X off the left-hand needle to finish your stitch. Let me know if you have any questions or tips or tricks in the comments. Go ahead and give us a like if you like this video and subscribe for even more knitting tutorials. Have a great day.